One ring, two sisters.
The ring didn't fall by accident. It slipped slowly from her shaking fingers, hit the kitchen floor, and spun. Round, and round, and round. Until it stopped, pointing directly at him. And in that moment, everything broke. Not just a marriage. Not just a family. But something deeper, something people don't talk about. Trust. Because standing across from her was her husband. And sitting right beside him was her sister. Not crying. Not shocked. Just silent. Like she had been waiting for this moment to finally arrive. Two sisters. One man. One secret that lived inside the same house for years. And when the truth came out, it didn't explode all at once. It unraveled. Slowly. Painfully. Until there was nothing left to hold on to. Before we go deeper into this, where are you watching from right now? What time is it there? Let me know. Because at first glance, this looked like a normal American family. A quiet street. A neat home. Holiday photos framed perfectly on the wall. Two sisters who grew up inseparable. And a man who seemed like the kind of husband anyone would trust. But behind that picture were questions no one ever wants to ask. When did it start? Who knew? And the most disturbing one of all. How do you come back from betrayal when it comes from your own blood? To understand how everything fell apart, you have to go back to who they were before the damage. Claire was the older sister. The dependable one. The kind of woman who showed up early, stayed late, and kept her word even when it cost her. She believed in commitment. In doing things the right way. People leaned on her. Trusted her. And she never gave them a reason not to. Emily was different. Not in a way that made her bad, just harder to predict. She had a kind of energy that pulled people in. A smile that made conversations linger. A presence that filled a room without asking permission. Where Claire was steady, Emily was fluid. Where Claire built, Emily explored. Growing up, it worked. They balanced each other. They protected each other. At least, that's what Claire believed. Then Daniel entered the picture. Confident. Polished. Easy to talk to. The kind of man who made a strong first impression and kept it. He knew what to say. How to say it. When to say it. Claire met him at a time when she was ready to settle down. And he fit into her life like he had always been meant to be there. Their relationship moved quickly, but not recklessly. It felt right. Solid. Safe. And when he proposed, there was no hesitation. They got married. Built a home. Started a life. And for a while, everything looked exactly the way it was supposed to. Emily was there through it all. Helping with the wedding. Visiting often. Laughing with them at dinners that stretched late into the night. There was nothing unusual about it. Nothing suspicious. Just a family, being a family. But sometimes, the most dangerous things don't look dangerous when they begin. They look harmless. Like proximity. Like familiarity. Like moments that feel too small to matter. Emily started coming around more often. At first, it made sense. She and Claire were close. Always had been. And Daniel got along with her easily. They joked. They talked. They connected. At first, Claire saw it as a good thing. It meant harmony. It meant everyone was comfortable. But comfort can be misleading. Because the first shift didn't come with a warning. It came quietly. Late-night conversations that lasted longer than usual. Inside jokes Claire didn't fully understand. Small glances that meant nothing until they meant everything. It wasn't physical. Not at first. It was emotional. The kind of connection that builds in spaces no one else can see. The kind that feels innocent until it isn't. Then came the secrecy. Phones turned face down. Messages cleared. Conversations paused the second Claire walked into the room. And still, she didn't see it. Because trust doesn't look for betrayal. It assumes loyalty. That's what makes it so easy to break. No one can point to the exact moment everything crossed the line. But it did. And once it did, it didn't stop. It grew. Quietly. Steadily. Until it became something that had its own rhythm, its own pattern, its own life. Hidden inside the one Claire thought she was living. It wasn't just a mistake. It became routine. A secret woven into daily life so carefully, it almost felt normal. Until the day it wasn't. It happened without warning. A normal day. No tension. No signs. Just a moment. Daniel left his phone on the kitchen counter. Unlocked. Claire wasn't looking for anything. She wasn't suspicious. She wasn't expecting to find something that would change everything. But then a message appeared. A name she knew. A name she trusted. Emily. At first, it didn't register. Then she opened it. And everything began to fall into place, too quickly, too clearly. The words didn't feel real. They felt misplaced. Like they belonged to someone else's life. But they didn't. They were hers. Weeks of messages. Months of conversations. Years of something she had never seen. Photos. Plans. Words no sister should ever send, and no husband should ever receive. Her hands started shaking. Her breathing changed. And in that moment, the life she thought she understood disappeared. When she confronted them, it wasn't loud. It wasn't chaotic. Not at first. It was quiet. Controlled. The kind of quiet that carries more weight than screaming. She asked one question. How long? Neither of them answered. Not immediately. And that silence said everything. When the truth started coming out, it didn't come all at once. Just pieces. Enough to confirm what she already knew. Enough to make denial impossible. The marriage shattered instantly. But the deeper damage came from somewhere else. Her sister. The one person she had trusted without question. The one person she never thought she would have to protect herself from. The family didn't know what to do. There were no rules for something like this. No clear sides to take. Just shock. Confusion. And a kind of silence that spread through everything. Because this wasn't just betrayal. It was something more complicated. Something harder to explain. Something that didn't make sense, no matter how many times you tried to understand it. And just when Claire thought she had reached the worst part, another truth surfaced. And this one was heavier. The affair hadn't started after the marriage. It started before it. Before the vows. Before the promises. Before the life Claire thought she was building. Daniel and Emily had history. A connection. Something that existed before Claire was ever part of the picture. Which meant the marriage itself may have been built on something that was never real. That realization didn't come with anger. It came with something quieter. Something deeper. A kind of emptiness that doesn't make noise, but takes everything with it. Because it meant she hadn't just been betrayed. She had been placed into something she never truly understood. Something that had already been in motion long before she arrived. There was no dramatic ending. No public collapse. Just consequences. Claire filed for divorce. Quietly. Without a fight. Not because it didn't matter. But because there was nothing left to fight for. Emily drifted away from the family. Not all at once. But gradually. Calls stopped. Visits ended. Conversations faded. Until there was nothing left to hold on to. Daniel lost more than he expected. Not just the marriage. But the version of himself people believed in. The trust. The respect. The stability he thought he had built. But the deepest damage was invisible. Claire didn't just lose a husband. She lost her sense of reality. Because the hardest part wasn't the affair. It wasn't even the betrayal. It was realizing that for years, she had been living inside something that wasn't true. And that kind of realization doesn't just go away. It stays. In quiet moments. In unanswered questions. In the spaces where trust used to exist. So now the question isn't what happened. The question is, what would you do? If the people you trusted most were the ones who broke you? Could you forgive them? Or is some betrayal too deep to come back from? Tell me what you think. And if this story stayed with you, there's more.